Hi guys, I am back. It has been a minute since I shot a video. If you do not know, I am from Southeast Louisiana and we just got hit with a very bad hurricane and things have been crazy out here, but things are finally starting to get back on track. For me, I know a lot of people are still struggling, and for the people that are still struggling to get it together, I'm praying for you. I pray that everything that you lost, God will restore and then some. And if you need anything, just reach out to me. I am here and I will do my very best that I can to help and assist anyone that's still struggling with this storm. I don't have my wine today. It is early on a Sunday morning. It's about 10 o'clock. So it's a little too early for wine. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into this topic. Someone asked me a question a while back and I did not give them an answer. I told them that I would answer it when I was ready. And I finally feel like I'm ready to answer the question. The question that I was asked was, how have I maintained my relationship with God and going through such a tough time? And I'm going to be completely honest with y'all in this video. I didn't. I did not. When this first happened, I had made a Facebook post maybe like the next day or that same day, and I was just saying it doesn't matter what hell I'm going through, my posture will always be worship. And boy, did that change. My posture, my attitude towards God, it all changed over time as I was not getting the answers or results that I wanted. My attitude got worse and worse. My posture got worse and worse. I stopped praying. I didn't want to listen to no church music. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, this is not fair. I feel like I'm a pretty strong person and I've always been pretty faithful. Let me give you a little background. I grew up in church my whole life. My grandpa is a preacher. My uncle is a preacher. And if I wasn't at one church, I was at the other. I was always in church multiple times a week, all day long. But back then, my relationship with God, I would say, was not deep. It was wide. And what I mean by that is my relationship with God was just based off of me having to go to church, me having to sing in a choir, and me having to be a part of certain things. I love God ever since I was a little girl, but that was because that's what I was raised up in. That's what I was taught. I hadn't really gone through anything to solidify my relationship with God. And back when I was going into my senior year, I was 17 years old. I remember going through a very bad depression. I don't know what happened, but I was just depressed and I wanted to kill myself. I was really struggling mentally. And I remember, like, I would wake up and cry every day for about a month. And it just got to the point where I prayed and I was like, God, if you don't change this, like, if you don't get this thought out of my mind, I'm going to kill myself. Like, there's no way I could live life like this every day. And sure enough, it didn't happen necessarily overnight, but as the days went on, the thoughts were less and less. My mood was better. I wasn't crying every single day, all day. I remember during this time, like, it was so embarrassing. I would wear sunglasses all the time, in the house, outside the house. I know my mom was probably like, this girl done lost her mind, but I did. I really did. Because my eyes were so puffy and red because I was crying all day. And after that experience, that's when I actually really started to get my relationship with God deeper. But I was still young, which isn't an excuse. You can be young and be on fire for the Lord. But I still was going into my senior year of high school. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I did always have that relationship with God and have that foundation, but I just was not all in. I still was focusing on boys and parties and the football games and trying to be a hot girl. So my full undivided attention wasn't in God, but I knew that he was real for myself, because he was the only person that was able to bring me through that situation. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. Mentally, I think that was the worst place I've ever been, even through this whole situation. That was the worst I've ever been mentally. So fast forward into now, I put that post on Facebook, and I was thinking that, you know, that night they were gonna find my sister, the night that she supposedly jumped off of the bridge. I was like, they're gonna find her tonight. Like, it has to be. And my faith was strong in that. I think I can deal with death. I can't really comprehend death, but it's natural. I know that people die, so I can deal with stuff like that. But what I could not deal with is the fact that we didn't find her body. You know, it was bad enough that my sister died, and it was even worse that she committed suicide. But the fact that we don't even have a body is, I could not deal with that, and I still wrestle with that till this day. But once time was going on, I stopped praying. I didn't want to listen to church music. I did not want to hear anything about God. And I remember telling my mom that. I was like, I'm upset because this doesn't make any sense. Like, how is all of this happening? You know, my parents are faithful. I think I've been faithful, but none of that matters when it comes to God. None of that matters. When I really started getting deeper in my relationship with God, I remember telling him, like, you know, whatever you want to do, you do you, and I'm just going along for the ride. And I said yes to his will, and I feel like when you say yes to God, you know, you have to go through what he allows to happen. And God didn't make this happen. That was nobody but the devil. But he allowed it to happen, and he wouldn't allow anything to happen that he know that he couldn't bring me and my family through. And I think now that is where I am. For the people that know my mom, that really know her, you know, Hope was my mom's favorite child. And that's no shade to me and Faith. It's just the truth. My mama, when she gets sad or down, she will not eat, lose 50 pounds, be balled up in bed somewhere. And honestly, I did not think that she would make it. I did not. It's not funny, but I'm smiling because that's just what I do when I talk about awkward conversations. But I remember the night that this happened, I was just like, at any moment now, you know, I could lose my mom. Not only did I lose my sister, and I still have trouble believing that till this day, but I lost, you know, what was my family, what was my normalcy. I lost my everyday routine. My sister and I lived together in an apartment, so we were together every day. So my comfortability, everything that I was comfortable with, that I, you know, had set up, was just gone. My family structure was gone. It wasn't gone, but I knew it was going to be different. And my leg is shaking. I don't know why I'm nervous talking about this, but yeah, that's where I was. So as the days went on, and I'll insert the post that I put up in this video, but as the days went on, my faith slowly but surely dwindled out, and that lasted for a few months. I remember telling my mom, like, I'm upset with God. Like, how, I don't understand how he allowed all of this to happen. Like, the least he could do is give us her body back. And now I realize that was just so borderline disrespectful of me, to even think like that. The least God could do, like, he woke me up this morning. He's keeping me and my family. He doesn't have to do any of that. So that, I had to really check myself with my thinking like that. And that's just the truth. We are human, and we are gonna fall short. We are gonna question God, and I don't think that's a problem. I'm in a relationship with God, and just like any other relationship, you know, you have to have conversations. But the problem was, I wasn't having those conversations. I was just like, you backstabbed me, so I ain't talking to you no more. And I really had to get a grip. I think one thing that really helped me get a grip was hearing my mom who lost her child, who was in the same boat as me, but from a mother's perspective, tell me that I can't be upset with God. He didn't make this happen. He allowed it to happen, but he didn't cause this to happen. Hope made that decision, and that was regardless of what she was going through. Jesus just allows that to happen. Just like we make a choice every day of what we want to do, we make that choice to choose God. And I don't know what happened up on that bridge, but what I do know is God didn't make that happen. He allowed it to happen. And they have a TikTok, I think, of Sarah Jakes Roberts, and she was just saying what God allowed to happen, he knew that he could redeem. Maybe that's the word she used. It was something like that, and that's just the God's honest truth. So yeah, after I talked to my mom about that, I slowly but surely, I would just listen to praise and worship, and I would pray every now and then, but I was still kind of like not there, not fully in relationship with God. I was still kind of like, I'm talking to you, but like in my heart, I'm upset. In my heart, I'm still hurt. And it wasn't until a few days ago, actually, Wednesday or Thursday, I was in my car and I was listening to praise and worship, and I just realized like the audacity of me to say yes to God's will, and to say yes to ask him to let his will be done in my life, and for him to give me a purpose, and the audacity of me when he does to get mad and want to cut him out. Like, the audacity. I was sitting there saying the audacity of you to, you know, like, let this all go down, but really the audacity of me to be so selfish that when things don't go perfectly my way, I want to cut God off. I don't want to talk to him no more. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to listen to gospel music. I don't want to pray. The audacity, like, how crazy could I be? And it wasn't until a few days ago I was sitting in the car listening to praise and worship, and I just realized that nowhere in the word did God promise that this journey will be easy. Nowhere. I wrote down a few scriptures just that I can remember off of the top of my head, and I'm gonna read them to you. Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. That's number one. Number two is, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver them out of them all. Number three, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and staff, they comfort me. And number four, and this one is on the verge of a different topic, But it says, though we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers in the heavenly places. And in no way, shape, or form am I a Bible beater. I don't even know what principalities are, but I have been trying to get more into the word, so that is something that I will do better at. But in all of those verses that I just read, they all, though he slayed me, yet will I trust him. I had to be slayed to trust him. Relationships, it's easy to be in a relationship with somebody when everything's all going good. Me and Caleb, we be great when everything's going good. When I'm getting my way all the time, things are great. But the moment a little adversity comes, for example, I love Caleb. We've been dating for 3 years. We've been friends since I was a freshman in high school. And even before that, I always had a crush on him. But I didn't really know how much I loved him or how much I cared about him or how much he loved or cared about me until we went through some things. For example, when all of this happened with my sister, I know Caleb loved me, but when stuff like this happens, it's kind of like a shocker. It's like, well, what's going on there? Like, I don't know if this is, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know, this could be genetic depression. I've dealt with it. My sister obviously dealt with it. This could be something that could pass along to my kids. And all type of just statistics. But it wasn't until I went through that situation, and I can be mean. I know it. And I'm upset. I'm mean and mad and angry. And I could take it out on him. But he's still there. And it wasn't until we went through that till I realized it before, but it wasn't until going through hard situations that I realized just how real our friendship is, our relationship is. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver them out of them all. Many are the afflictions. God said that he'll deliver us. He said that he'll be here with us, but we have to have some sort of afflictions. And this is a favorite. I see this all the time. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and staff, they comfort me. You have to walk through the valley. Like, you're not walking through flowers and rainbows and sunshines all the time. There are going to be some valleys. So I really just sat down and I remember things that I was taught up from a child. And for me, it was just time to put that into action, to really think about what God promised me when I said yes to him. He never said that it'd be easy. He never said that I wouldn't go through anything. He never said that everything would be rainbow and sunshines. But what he said was he would be there with me, and he would walk with me through the valley, and he'll deliver me out of all of my troubles, and he will keep me in perfect peace if I keep my mind stayed on him. And that is something that I very well found to be true. When I was in my season of being angry, and people could tell me all the time, don't be mad at God, but that's easy for you to say because you're not going through what I'm going through. You're not sitting in my shoes. So I don't want to hear what you have to say anyways. It's not valid to me because you're not me. But they were right. But that's how I feel like my relationship with God has gotten so strong and has gotten to where it is today, because I had to go through those hard times, and I had to remember exactly what was in the word. And that's just what I want to encourage you. If you are in a relationship with God, if you don't know him, my advice would be to get to know him. He is the only person. When I was up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, when I would wake up out my sleep in that panic attacks, sweating, crying, screaming. When I would be in the shower by myself, crying, you know, no one, it wasn't my parents that was there. It wasn't Caleb. It wasn't my friends. It was God that was there to get me through, to walk me through those dark moments. So if you don't know him, my personal advice would be to get to know him. And if you do know him, my advice would just be to keep trusting him. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that, you know, just being in a relationship with God takes away all of the pain and the hurt and the heartache. Is still there. I still have to, faith without work is dead. I still have to put in the work. I still have to talk to my therapist. I still have to do what I need to do. Sometimes I have to take medicines. But that has all just been a part of my process. All of that stuff for me, the medicine, the antidepressants, the drinking, the talking to the therapist, it all, for me, it would ease the pain for a moment, but still in the back of my mind, I would know, oh, when this conversation is over, when this pill wears off, I'm gonna be right back where I was. And I feel like the only thing that really helps me get through is my relationship with God, and that's just for me. I was about to say, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to persuade you, but I am. God is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And if you are in a relationship with God and you just find yourself in a season where you are looking at life like this is just not fair, just keep trusting him. Keep seeking him, and he will reveal himself to you in due time. I've been in this season for maybe 9 months, and I'm just getting to the point where I'm ready to start rebuilding our relationship and working on our relationship. So things don't always happen overnight. Don't always expect to get your answer overnight, but continue to trust God. Continue to say yes to him, and he will work everything out. I missed you all. I'm so glad to be back. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for your support, for your prayers, for your love. I'm praying for all of you, and I am here. If you have any questions, if you ever want to talk, I will always be here. Just shoot me a message. And I will see y'all later. I didn't expect to talk this long, so then ran into my Saints game, but I'm about to go. Bye.